We welcome you to our meaningful meditation for this fourth Sunday in Lent as we continue our series, Everything in Between. This Sunday we'll be looking at the opposites of lost and found from the Gospel of Luke, chapter 15, often the parable that we refer to as the lost sheep, and also a little bit further in Scripture, the lost coin. And what we want to think about is really focusing in this passage on the sheep owner, and why is it that Jesus talks about the importance of that one sheep being looked for and sought. And so for this series, we've been using the commentary on the Gospel of Luke by Amy Jill Levine and Ben Worthington III, and they entitle this first part of the parable, The Counting, Seeking, Finding, Celebrating Sheep Owner. And that's really where our focus needs to be, because all of us have that sense at some point in our life, some more than others or more often than others, of being lost. And what does it really mean for us to have that experience of being found, and how important it was to the sheep owner to find that one sheep and to help celebrate this fact. And it's the same thing with the woman who finds the coin, is this whole idea of celebrating, and that we're called as people of faith to be aware and focusing on those people in our life who feel lost, and to help them have that experience of being found. And that the other wonderful part of this parable is that it's really helping us to think the way that God thinks, and kingdom thinking, as opposed to how often in our culture today that we don't care about that one missing person or animal, that we get focused on all the busyness around us, and really to think about how, if any of us are lost, then how can we be found? And the whole idea of caring for our neighbor as we continue in this season of Lent, and focusing in on the importance of loving our neighbor and finding that space to do that. So those are kind of the direction that we'll be going this Sunday. It is the fifth Sunday of the month, which means we have our contemporary music and a little more relaxed service, so you can dress casual and have that time together of celebration. And we also will have our special time after the service with coffee, and this will be the last Sunday for you to bring items for the Oakland University student pantry, and so if you can pick up some of those things and bring them with you this Sunday, that would be great. We also are looking ahead to the month of April, which will bring the final Sunday in Lent, and then Palm Sunday and Holy Week and Easter morning. On the first Sunday, we will celebrate the Lord's Supper with the sacrament of the Holy Supper, and then also after the service we'll have a class for anybody who's interested in becoming a member here at UPC. On Palm Sunday, which is the 13th, we will have the traditional Hosanna and waving of the palms, and then after the service we have an enliven with our own Stephanie and Dustin, as they will be sharing about their experience with the foster care system and some things perhaps that you're not aware of, so hope you'll stick around on the 13th. And then for Holy Week we will have our special Maundy Thursday dinner with soup and the service in Fellowship Hall, and that starts at 6 o'clock. On the 17th, and then on Good Friday the 18th we'll have the traditional service in the sanctuary at 7 p.m. and that will be with strings and our chancel choir. On Saturday we have our Extravaganza Day, and we are looking for some volunteers and help for that big event, and so you can check out our website or talk to Stephanie about what is still needed for that day. And then on Easter Sunday we will have our sunrise service outside at 6:45, so we bundle up and have a beautiful service together, and then at 10 a.m. our traditional service in the sanctuary. with brass and the choir, and then after the service we have our Easter brunch, which is brought to us from our Membership Life Committee. So those are some things coming up in the month of April, and we are excited to see you this Sunday on the last Sunday of March as we continue our journey in Lent together. So peace for your journey, and we'll hope to see you Sunday.